Cleveland, Miami. The only note here, DTR made 4 starts for the Browns. They've scored 34 points in those games. And maybe the biggest issue in his second half play, 1 passing touchdown, 8 picks in those games. Not great for DTR, but so I'm pretty sure you're going to be fading him on some way. So how's that working out?
Yeah, the question wasn't if, it was how. How do we fade DTR?
Yeah.
And I'm taking the DTR mine shaft all the way down. Give me the Browns under 16.5, and then we'll get to a couple alts as well. Had to wait and see, okay, is DTR going to play? He's got a calf injury. I want my man out there because he's terrible. Ken Dorsey says that they're prepping to start with DTR. So here's some of the stats this season. DTR has had 11 passes of 15 yards or more. He's 0 for 11 on those passes with 3 interceptions. This man is not an NFL quarterback. Over the last 2 seasons, there's been 55 quarterbacks with at least 200 plays. DTR in EPA and completion percentage over expected is 55th out of 55. He's dead last behind such luminaries as Drew Luck, Cooper Rush, Easton Stick, Zach Wilson, and Bailey Zappi, who, by the way, is the backup if DTR can't go, just in case. So, look, you may want to wait here. I don't want anything to do with this bet if Jameis happens to play. We know how I love betting on Jameis going YOLO and throwing it all over the place, but I think the Browns are leaning full tank. Miami's defense is pretty good, too, actually. They've been about average over the last 6 weeks, but top 10 against the run. So if they can stop the run a little bit, how is Cleveland going to score? They can't pass the ball at all here. In those DTR starts, as you mentioned, 8.5 points a game. Here's the point total by game. 3, 13, 12, and 6. All 4 of those easily under this number. So 60.5 is way too high. I'm taking the mine shaft. Under 10.5 points, 3-1. They've hit that in 2 of 4 starts for DTR. Hit the under. I guess I don't know if that counts as hitting, but we will take it as a hit. And then under 6.5 is 6-1 odds. So I think it's just an ugly, sloppy game that the Browns are not able to score in. But I do have a couple props. So let me add a couple of props here. These are separate, but in this game, somehow this became my favorite game of the week to bet on. I don't know. Week 17, Dolphins, Browns. Here we are. I like Tyreek Hill to score a touchdown, plus 120. Browns are bottom 5 against wide receiver 1 by DVOA. Second most fantasy points allowed. 19 touchdowns allowed to receivers already. Tied for third most in the NFL. Tyreek has a touchdown in 6 out of 10 full Tua games. 5 of the last 7. Plus 120. I think this should be a minus odds. So kind of marginally in our favor. I love my long shots. Let's throw in the long shot. 2 touchdowns is plus 850. Maybe, isn't it just this fantasy championship weekend? Who's got Tyreek in their championship? Nobody, because he's stunk all season long. Isn't it just like that player to go out and have the huge game when you've finally been knocked out of your league? This is that game for Tyreek. So I like the touchdown. And on the other side, much as I hate DTR, one thing I've noticed is the guy that likes DTR is David Njoku. He does not throw to receivers. He loves the tight end, though. When DTR plays at least half of the game, his averages for Njoku, 7.5 catches, 61 yards. His line last week was 4.5 catches and 35.5 yards. So we don't have lines yet here, but I want to get this out to you. Dolphins have allowed the 7th most receptions to tight ends. Last 7 games have allowed 5 or more 5 times. They've allowed 8, 9, and 13 catches since week 8 forward. So I will be looking for a David Njoku escalator if DTR plays, like a 5, 6, 7 receptions. Nothing crazy. Just give me those dump offs and this kind of ugly, sloppy, weather nothing game where the Browns can't get the ball moving. If you want to go crazy, put some of this stuff together in a big SGP. This is the spot to do it. It's one of only 2 games in the afternoon. We all know I'll have my full attention over on Vikings Packers, watching that one with the family here. But hopefully Tyreek and Njoku are doing their thing. Hopefully DTR is doing his too and taking the mine shaft all the way down with no points on the board.
Yeah, here's the SGP for me at least. Cleveland under 16.5 team total, Njoku receptions over, and DTR rushing touchdown. So I'm going to try to call how they get into the end zone and still stay under the number as he's scrambling around.